200 laps, 105 miles around the paperclip. It's Martinsville Speedway, short track action. I have a feeling we're gonna see some tempers. We're getting ready to get started. Christian Eckes on pole. Ty Majeski on the outside. Green flag is in the air, we are racing. Maybe a little contact right there as the two. Nick Sanchez got to the back of the 98.
Like that 98 maybe stumbled just a tick right at the initial start. Has her going now, though.
Yeah, that truck was really solid in the brief practice session we had earlier today, as was that 38 of Lane Riggs.
Look at Taylor Gray.
I was going to say, I also loved what Taylor Gray was doing in practice. We heard his crew chief say this is a brand new truck for us. Looks like they built a good one.
And we know how important this race is to Jeff Hensley. This is a home race for him. He's from right here in Martinsville.
Taylor Gray, we've talked about it, of the 8 playoff drivers, he's the only one that hasn't been to victory lane yet. It's a tall task, but it could happen tonight. We're talking about driver of the 17 truck.
I like the speed also from Ben Rose. He's been a little bit of a guy that's been hard to understand at times this year, just not the pace we're used to out of that 99 truck, but he's got it going tonight.
He was solid in practice, obviously solid in qualifying as well. He was the 3rd fastest truck in average speed throughout the practice session.
You're going to have to deal with number 11. You see Corey Haim right there behind Ben Rhodes. He's going to be a part of the show tonight, up front, battling for the win.
See that scoring pylon to the left, drivers highlighted in yellow. Those are playoff drivers. You see Grant Enfinger down there in 27th in green. He has advanced, doesn't have to worry about the outcome of tonight, thankfully. He's got a tall task ahead, but I wouldn't count him out.
Yeah, he's moving forward. He's already gained about 6 positions since the initial start.
There's another playoff driver right there, the 18 of Tyler Ankrum. Just had his hands full. Something was not right with that truck in practice. They discovered a problem with the brakes, so they made that adjustment and had to start in the rear.
I'm impressed with Grant. It's really difficult to pass early here at Martinsville, especially back deep in the pack. Let's go back to the start of the race and see what happened to 98. Let's listen. You can hear him spin the tires there. Sometimes that's a result of the guy behind you giving you a little bit of bump at the wrong time, and it gets those tires spinning, lightens up the back end.
It's hard to get rear grip when the back end's off the ground, they say.
See a battle right there. The 16, Landon Lewis, a new face for the Truck Series, making his first start this year, represented by Kevin Harvick's management company. A lot of promise in this 18-year-old getting a great opportunity tonight. Actually, Johnny Sauter was supposed to drive this truck, but when he got the call from Thor Sport to go to the 66, Landon Lewis got the call. Yeah,
I know Duke Thorson means so much to Johnny Sauter, and I'm sure when they made the phone call, Johnny said, yes, I have to do it, because he thinks so much of Duke and Rhonda Thorson.
Matt Gould in the 44.
What a nice move by
I'm sorry,
the 7 truck right there, wasn't it?
Connor Zilic really has got it going on. That truck's been sideways off the corner most all day long. It just seemed like it was hung out, but he was hanging on to it. We know what a talented young racer he is. Racing right along there with the 44 of Gould. Bailey Curry looking on.
He's got a Nice Motorsports sandwich right there, and Connor Zilic is in the middle of it.
Been impressed with Gould, haven't you, Phil?
I have. He was good. He was good right off the truck when practice started. Had some solid lap times.
He's loose now, though, sideways again off that corner, and Zilic is able to turn to the bottom and take advantage of that.
So Zilic moves into 21st. Zilic making his 5th Truck Series start this year. Remember, he wowed everybody when he made his Truck Series debut at COTA earlier this season. Started on pole, finished 4th. But he's also been juggling Xfinity Series as well. This weekend, though, just focused on the truck.
Norm Benning there in the 6, going a lap down. No practice for Norm, so trying to get a feel for that truck.
Tanner Gray, that 15 white and black truck on the outside. He's another truck that had to go to the back for the initial start. They had to work on brakes for him. He was getting some brake chatter. So they worked on that truck just like they did the 18 of Ankrum, who's right behind this battle for position.
Corey Day in the 81, back behind the wheel, the sprint car driver, figuring these places out quickly. Never done this before. Back there in a mess. He's battling for the 30th spot.
There's a lot of messes out there, Jamie. Everywhere you, that's what I always thought about Martinsville. There's nowhere to hide. If your truck isn't what you need it to be, there's going to be somebody knocking on your door.
And I know Jamie, when she said battling for 30th, I mean, There are solid, good trucks from the front of this field all the way back to where this battle for 30th is. Really, really competitive this year, in the truck series.
You wouldn't be surprised to see either one of those two trucks right now running for 30th, battling for a top 10 position at the end. Tire pressures are starting to come up. Brake heats are getting where they want them to be. The trucks are starting to hit that long run phase right now. Who can hang on for 50 laps and see what they have at the end of the stage?
Hopefully we can go green, as you see the brake rotors already glowing on Corey Day's truck.
And that's normal, right, Phil?
Totally normal. Let's take a look at the 77 truck here. Chase Purdy, you see that brake rotor glowing. Chase finished third in the spring in this race, so it's a good racetrack for Chase Purdy.
Could you explain to me why that's normal? I mean, that looks like it's getting ready to catch on fire. But you can see with the leader here as well. Everybody does that.
Christian Eckes continues to lead Ty Majeski and Nick Sanchez at Martinsville. Plenty more action to come. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series as our leader, Christian Eckes, has come up on lap traffic. Like you said, Michael, you cannot hide. Truckers everywhere. In fact, when we went to break, there was a moment for the 98 of Ty Majeski running second. Norm Benning trying to get to pit road.
Oh, didn't get any closer than that.
So close. I wondered if maybe Ty had to slam on the brakes, but listen to his engine. He never really even backed off. He saw him coming across the racetrack, and he stayed in it.
He said, I think I can time this out just fine.
And this traffic is really allowing Majeski to catch up as we go back and check on the progress of Tyler Ankrum, battling now with the 81 of Corey Day.
Regan.
Well, Jamie, Tyler Ankrum, we see him battling right now with Connor Day. As you guys just mentioned, the report, though, from Tyler a moment ago about that truck, he is still too tight. Keep in mind, that is what they were fighting earlier today in practice. It does not appear it's gotten any better. Crew Chief Mark Hillman going to have to figure something else out to try and help him get through the pack. And yes, you're right. The other thing he's got to keep in mind that they've been mentioning is where the leader is. They don't want to lose a lap early on here.
Looks like they're gonna, Regan. They're the next truck to go a lap down. You saw at the top of the screen there, Christian Eckes coming off turn 4.
It would be really important if you would be able to get by a couple of these trucks and put a little insulation between them and Eckes.
Set a pick for him. And it looks like that Tanner Gray's holding these two up, but these two are side by side. Can't do anything about it. Brett Moffitt just hit there in the 4. Welcome back, Brett. Look at that. Is it going to be 3 wide? Whoa, Ankrum just sent it in there. Will he be able to stay off of Day?
He did a good job. He got in the corner hard and had a bad angle, but did a nice job staying off of Corey Day. It was a nice move, and I think right now desperate times call for desperate moves.
Yeah, he's got 2 trucks between he and Christian Eckes now. That's big. Looks like he's faster than Moffitt as well.
You mentioned Brett Moffitt in that Ford truck just ahead of those guys. Racing for a new team, Henninger Racing. They bought all the assets from Brett Holmes Racing, the trucks, the equipment. They plan on running full-time next year, but they thought, let's run these last couple of races and let's call up a former champion in Brett Moffitt.
I sure do like what Ingram's doing right now as you see him around Moffitt. Another truck between he and Eckes. Looks like that truck's running pretty good right now.
See if he can get around another truck. Is that Matt Mills? No, that's the 02, Mason Maggio. I'm Dylan Lupton, excuse me, he's in that 02 this week.
Let's listen to Corey Himes' radio.
Awful, awful, awful. 3 in the center. Terrible. At 4. Okay, slow it down a little bit. Your center speed's really good.
You know what?
That's 3 awfuls, wasn't it?
That was 3 awfuls. That means definitely a wrench is going to be stuck in the back of that truck. They're going to have to make some serious adjustments, as bad as he says that truck is handling.
Corey Heim hasn't gone anywhere, started 7th, running 7th. As you see, Christian Eckes now on the back of Corey Day, trying to find a way around.
As
Already
Corey,
got around the 15.
Corey's looking for a way around Moffitt. Looks like the top side is going to be a nice little run there for Corey Day.
I really like how that top side is looking pretty good tonight. You don't just automatically lose a spot if you get pushed up off the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh, there's a Nice truck slowing on the front straightaway. I don't know.
Is that the 41 or 44?
44, I think.
Gosh darn
Matt
it.
Gould talking about the nice job he was doing earlier. He's got a problem.
Yeah, not under power, obviously, as slow as he's going. May not be able to make it to pit road. Is at the entrance to turn 3.
He could whip in right there. That's what he does. Oh, that's what he almost did. It's not going to happen.
He might be able to get to the entrance to pit road. Once he gets there, then he'll be fine.
Yeah, I've got nothing. It just shut off.
Yeah, as I suspected, not under power. I'm not sure he's going to make it to pit road, guys.
Maybe he could use a starter to bump him along.
Matt Gould is relaying to his team that the truck just set off. It's kind of a disappointment, I know, will be for Matt. I was talking to the team prior to this race, and Matt just had the biggest smile on his face after qualifying, coming into his 2nd Craftsman Trucks race. He's feeling pretty good, knowing what to expect out of a truck as opposed to being in an initial start for him. And I talked to his dad, Phil Gould, and was like, well, what's this experience like for you, Phil? He said, this is nerve-wracking.
I bet it is, especially right now as the 44 stuck on the backstretch. The caution is out for the first time tonight.
Phil, put your crew chief hat on. Might I pit?
I think
If
so.
I'm Grant Enfinger?
I think so.
Maybe Tyler Ankrum?
Say why not? Why not pit? Then we know we're going to have track position when the rest of this field pits. And we know they're going to pit at some point, whether they wait till the end of the first stage or the second stage. But I like this now. We talked about the pit window being somewhere between 150 and 160. We're just outside of that. But, you know, we're going to have so many cautions. This race has had at least 11 cautions, 5 of the last 6 years. So we know we're going to get enough opportunity to save some fuel. And, by the way, Tyler Ankrum, those moves to get by those trucks, that kept him on the lead lap.
And Grant Enfinger, I mentioned him being a guy that might come to pit road. He's up 10 positions from the start, so that truck is running well. I feel like these guys are confident about getting there on gas because of, like you said, all the caution laps that are probably laying ahead. I'm pitting if I'm back there. Heck, I might even do it if I'm up front.
Yeah, definitely from where Grant is. I think without a doubt, I think I would come to pit road if I'm Grant Enfinger, and certainly Tyler Ankrum as well. And plus you get another adjustment, try to make your truck better.
See the biggest movers. You guys mentioned Grant Enfinger. He was on the move up 10 spots, and he's in a perfect position to roll the dice. Do whatever you think is going to work. Let's come in now. There's Ben Rhodes decides to come to pit road. Corey Day thought about it. Is that the 9?
Johnny Sauter.
66?
Johnny Sauter, Crafton, Freeze, and now a bunch of them are coming. Just about almost everybody. There's Enfinger.
I like this.
I do too.
Ankrum.
There's
one of our
Ankrum.
playoff drivers.
They're all coming down pit road. They're coming your way, Regan.
Well, Jamie, there was a very decisive, quick decision by Mark Hillman. They were going to pit right here. This is a great opportunity with a truck that's extremely tight. They're going to make a significant adjustment right now, maybe more than what they think they might need, but they want to try and get out in front of it for as they run. This could set them up as they felt like their speed was decent once they got a little bit of clear track. Amanda?
Yeah, Regan, someone else that wants to see if they can set themselves up was Grant Enfinger. Started from the rear of this group up until the top 20 heading into pit lane. It was 4 tires in fuel for the 9, and they put the track bar down as well. But Grant's been locked into this championship for 28 days, Regan. They can just race different out here.
So that great 3-wide battle off of pit road between Grant, Johnny Sauter, and Matt Crafton.
Zillage up 5 spots there. So pit stops lap 39. Remember, at the end of stage 1 coming up, 11 laps to go. Christian Eckes continues to lead him here at Martinsville. Getting ready for our first restart of the night here from Martinsville Speedway. Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski. As they come out of turn 4, side by side. 8 laps to go in stage number 1. A great restart for Eckes.
Oh, how about Raja pulling out of line? No room down there.
Ran over the curb.
And somehow avoided Chase Purdy in the 77.
Corey Heim with the block on Chase Purdy.
Caden Honeycutt, that blue and white, number 45 on the outside of Corey Heim. Now Caden Honeycutt has that spot. Look at the block. Dean Thompson's going to run into the curb.
Holy cow.
I guess he didn't watch the lap before when Raja did it.
Raja Caruth trying to get around that 5 truck of Dean Thompson. Caruth just lost 2 spots, was inside the top 10.
I'm glad I gave Raja a heads up that he was going to get mad at some point, because I think he might be a little steamed. You can see William Swalich right there on the outside, just digging for space as the laps wind down. Grant Enfinger. Grant takes them 3 wide.
Battle for 4th. Wow, 3 wide at Martinsville.
Got to be impressed with Enfinger.
Ben Rhodes right in front of Enfinger. Remember, he was the first truck to lead him to pit road when that caution flag came out.
How fun is this? Being right there in the middle of the action.
How about Grant Enfinger comes to pit road? Now he's running higher than he has all the entire race.
That number 9 truck is quick.
And a few trucks up ahead of him, this 7, a Connor Zilic, one of those that pitted with him. He is on the move. Up to 11.
Great view from the racetostopsuicide.com onboard bumper cam of Daniel Dye. See Grant able to make his way by Raja on the 71.
Raja continues to go the wrong direction, down to 15th.
And remember, has not been to pit road yet either.
Look at this move. We're winding this stage up, just 2 to go. Raja's struggling right now. Look at that block he threw. And it hit him, and he ran into the back of the guy that just passed him.
So Christian Eckes, Ty Majeski, Nick Sanchez, and Taylor Gray. There's that 7 truck on the move I mentioned, inside the top 10.
And when somebody opens the door, you better hop in it, hadn't you?
When the spotter says clear, you take it right then. Ooh, problems for Raja. We're hearing that Raja got into the wall. He's just trying to feel out. He knows he's on the final lap of this stage, and Eckes is gonna, gosh, come awfully close to submitting his way in.
I mean, just
to that championship 4 along with Majeski.
It's gonna happen soon. It hasn't happened yet, but it's got to be so close.
So caution is out for the end of stage number 1. Christian Eckes picks up his 10th stage win of 2024. That's the most of all drivers. We talked about Raja Caruth had hit the curb. Let's see what happens. See that 71 truck just to the left of the screen.
That's Johnny Sauter, the 66.
He had an issue.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he hit the wall, but something happened to that truck. It went straight when he got to the corner.
Christian Eckes, first driver to score over 300 stage points in a season, gets it done. So far, so perfect for driver number 19. Welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Stage 1 results. Christian Eckes capitalizes, leads all the laps, gets 10 points. Ty Majeski, Nick Sanchez, Taylor Gray, Corey Heim, and 2 playoff drivers missing from there. And Grant Enfinger finished 14th in that stage, and Tyler Ankrum finished 17th.
Yeah, Christian Eckes, just like he did here in the spring, stays on the racetrack. Majeski this time, though, stays out there with him.
Coming down pit road, Amanda.
Taylor Gray told us earlier ahead of this race said that they have one mission tonight, and that is to win it all if they're going to play in Phoenix come next weekend. He said that there's going to be a few adjustments on the 17, headed in the right direction. A little air pressure and track bar, but the 17 will be good to go, Regan.
Well, man, and definitely not what the 71 and Raja Caruth wanted tonight. Troubles out there on the racetrack as we saw him go up high on the track. Felt like he had a tire down at that moment, but also has other problems now. Expect this to be a long stop. They're going to check the sway bars on that truck. Thought that might have been dragging as well, and the brakes didn't feel good. A number of different issues for the 71 right now.
That is one driver happy to get to pit road, get his truck looked at. Got everything on the line right now.
Luckily, that all happened right at the end of the stage, so he's able to get to pit road and not lose a lap, work on that truck.
Plenty more action still to come from Martinsville Speedway. Can Christian Eckes hang on and do what he did in April? It's choose time here at Martinsville Speedway as we get ready for stage number 2. Mixed bag here. You talked about strategy. You set us up perfectly, Phil, and we've had basically, it breaks down 4 playoff drivers have come down pit road at one time or another. 4 have stayed out.
Yes, our top 7 right there at the end of that stage all stay on the racetrack. So we don't know if they're going to try to shortcut this second stage. More than likely, especially for our playoff drivers, as we talked, other than Grant Enfinger, they need the points. You know, Eckes with a stage win getting 10 points and Majeski getting 9 points for finishing second.
It's just a technicality.
Important.
They're already there. But I'm going to tell you what, if the caution falls at a timely in a timely fashion, we'll see some more strategy, just like we did in that first stage.
We're not done with the strategy for sure.
Here we go, second restart of the night. Christian Eckes once again on the inside. Ty Majeski, Nick Sanchez, Corey Heim, your first 2 rows. Great restart by Eckes. He picks up stage win number 1. Remember, he was perfect here in the spring, won both stages and the race. See Corey Heim back there in the 11.
Look at that dive by Nick Sanchez. Got alongside Majeski, clips the curve. They get together.
Ooh.
Man, sometimes that can cut that left rear tire.
Look at Corey Heim, going to try to take advantage. Pulls right in behind Sanchez.
I just respect so much how these guys keep their cool when they get cut off like that. They don't just run over the guy ahead of them. There's a lot of give and take, even though there's so much aggression. More take for sure than give, but people understand if someone gets a bit of a nose in there, they're going to send it.
But I think late in this race, I'm not sure we're going to see that respect like we're seeing now either.
I know we won't.
There's Grant Enfinger back there, and that mess, as we call it, that gaggle of trucks. Enfinger up to 12. Yes.
Scrum.
The scrum of drivers.
Watch Daniel Dye. RaceToStopSuicide.com on board that bumper cam. We made it through one stage with that bumper cam.
Is that Grant Enfinger squeeze? Oh, that's Grant.
Yeah, that's
squeezing
Grant.
inside. This is fun.
Yeah, this is a battle for the 12th spot.
Talked earlier about the speed that Ben Rhodes has. He's right along behind Stuart Friesen there as Grant completes that pass, or almost did. They've got Zilich trapped up top, and look how close that is.
Zilich, did he get enough of a bite up off the corner to get down in front of Dean Thompson? He did. Nice move by that 7 of Zilich.
Riding on board with Daniel Dye. He's in the 12th position, giving us great pictures of what's going on all around him. Look at those 4 playoff drivers highlighted in yellow in the top 4. Look right behind him in 5th. Caden Honeycutt doing a great job.
Yeah, he's showing why he deserves a full-time opportunity, and Al Neese has given him that.
Chase Purdy in that 77. As you see the 7 of Zilich get to the inside of Chase. Chase loves this racetrack, does a great job here, but just shows you what a job Zilich is doing.
Remember, Chase Purdy has not been to pit road yet. Zilich came in back on lap number 38.
You see Matt Gould in the 44. We saw his troubles earlier. He's 4 laps off the pace right now, but learning so much, Phil, getting to be out there in that scrum, as you called it.
See Matt Mills getting by Spencer Boyd. That's Matt, the red, white, and blue number 42 JF electric truck.
Jake Garcia there putting on the pressure. A little bit of smoke off of the truck ahead.
Little tire lockup probably.
Taylor Gray, one of those playoff drivers that just pitted last time around at the end of stage number 1. He's up to 16th, battling with Johnny Sauter.
Good to see Johnny back in the Truck Series field. Ran second in a big super late model race at Cordell, Georgia last week, I believe it was.
He's staying sharp, racing here and there. I looked up his history because we know he's been with ThorSport in and out for years and years. Raced for ThorSport from 2005 to 2015, and then again from 2019 to 2022. And obviously that respect, love, and adoration between him and Duke Thorson is there, and he calls him when he needs somebody to jump in.
Yeah, without a doubt. And what a great choice it was too.
Give another spot to Grant Enfinger. Dean Thompson put away.
I feel like in a way this is a replay of last week with Grant Enfinger. He had the issues, had to come down pit road, and then he just picked them off one by one on the racetrack.
We talked about our top 7 trucks staying out at the end of that stage. Well, they're still running 1st through 6th right now. Chase Purdy is the only truck that has lost any positions, and he's only fallen back to the 10th position.
.23 laps into stage number 2. Christian Eckes continues to lead him. We're going to step aside. You won't miss a thing. welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, where our leader Christian Eckes is working his way around lap traffic. But no harm, no foul. Let's get an update on our front runners. Amanda.
Yeah, Jamie, I go back to qualifying when you guys were talking to Christian Eckes, and he was saying that he's feeling optimistic about tonight. I did that report ahead of this race saying that Christian thinks that he has a better truck than we saw him win here in the spring. He told his team prior to this race, let's seize the day. Otherwise, he's been relatively quiet on the radio and has been pretty calm throughout this thing, Regan.
Ty Majeski in the number 98 right now. Very good behind the wheel. A little bit of trouble, though. Splitter has been hitting the racetrack in that truck the good majority of the race. The rear of the truck, he's struggling with grip with the back of the truck. Wants a little bit of help with that. Of course, they've stayed out the entire race so far. No chance to make an adjustment. Crew Chief Joe Shear reminded him, we're only going to get one opportunity. We got to get it right. Amanda?
Yeah, and Ringa, Nick Sanchez's main complaint hasn't been with the truck, it's been with the track. He said as soon as rubber gets down on this thing, it is game on, and that is exactly what Nick Sanchez wants. He said that it is do or die for him tonight, and that's what makes this one of the easiest races that he's faced all year. He says, I've never had a clearer mind about what is ahead of me. Regan?
Well, we heard the struggles earlier on the radio for Corey Heim. Was not overly thrilled with how his truck was. Getting a little bit better right now for them, though, as he's worked his way up through the field, some by getting the track position. Still needs help with the rear of the truck. The front has turned all night long. The rear is not keeping up with it, meaning it's slipping and sliding just a little bit. They're going to need an adjustment as well in this pit stop. And to update the 71 of Raja Caruth, still having issues with the brakes on that truck. They expect them to get the brake bleeder bottle out and bleed the brakes when he comes down in the next yellow.
Not what that team wanted to have happen. Raja Caruth back there with his hands full in 24th. Remember, it's all about points. He was the first driver below the cut line coming in, and he received 0 stage points in stage 1.
How about that yellow and black number 9 of Grant Enfinger trying to grab that 9th spot from Connor Zilic? Remember, flat right rear tire qualifying 33rd, started 33rd, and here he is now knocking on the door of the 9th spot, already up into the top 10. And how about Tyler Ankrum? We've witnessed his struggles today, and there he is right behind Grant Enfinger and Connor Zilic.
I texted with Grant after qualifying. He said, don't you worry about me, Mikey. We got a good truck. We just had that problem with the tire. But I'm really impressed with Ankrum because this team was down and out. A lot of confusion, just uncertainty about what to adjust and what to do. And now look at him racing for a spot up in the top 10.
You see the last lap pitted for the playoff drivers. Top 4 have stayed out. Enfinger and Ankrum both pitted on lap 38. Good call for them. I mean, they're making their way up, get in that contention to get some points in stage 2.
We said at the time that was a great call, an opportunity to adjust down the truck. Probably have enough fuel to make it as long as we get enough caution laps. But you see Grant Enfinger now trying to grab another spot from Caden Honeycutt. That would be for the 8th spot. But we saw already, we talked about the differing strategies. Already 3 different times that our playoff drivers have come to pit road during this early part of this race. Well, some of them haven't come yet.
Yeah, that's right. And I think if the caution flies right now, those guys all come too. Or at least the first 2 for sure, because they've got fast enough trucks to win this race.
Well, remember, our top 5 still has yet to be to pit road. William Sawalich holding down that 5th spot. Great run for him. He's never had a top 5 here in the truck series. But there's a 71.
Look how loose that truck looks.
Doing all he can do. He needs to keep that 19 behind him if he can. But I just don't know if he has enough truck to do it, guys.
Going to be a tough task. You heard Regan talk about the issues. It's still not right for Raja Caruth, doing all he can to hold off Christian Eckes. So we have 7 laps remaining in stage number 2.
Now Raja Caruth becomes a big Jack Wood fan. Jack is the next guy ahead of Eckes and Caruth and wants to make sure if he can't stay on the lead lap, Jack does.
You can see Raja just can't get down in the corner. Once he gets to the center of the corner, then he's fine, but he just can't get down in the corner, and that's where he's going to lose that spot and lose that lap to Christian Eckes.
There you see, just ahead of the leader, next truck in line, Jack Wood.
So Raja Caruth goes a lap down. Christian Eckes just continues to dominate this field.
Jamie, as we're watching Raja Caruth right now, keep an eye. See the right sides right there? Both rotors are glowing, and as he goes into turn 3 in a moment, we're going to see that the left sides, and in particular the left front rotor, is not glowing. That is the one that he's complaining about. That's where they believe the problem is.
Well, I would agree 100% with that, Regan. You can see 3 of them glowing, and that's just something you don't usually see. That left front is generally as red as the right front.
Yeah, definitely an issue. And Raja had reported during, prior to his pit stop that it didn't feel like the left front brake was working, and he is exactly right. And I'm not sure if bleeding the brakes is going to fix that. If you have enough brakes for both rears and the right front to be glowing the rotors, I'm not sure that bleeding the brakes is going to fix that. He may have something wrong with the brake line there or something. I'm not sure what it is. And
Tyler Ankrum, this 18 truck has just come to life, guys. He's working his way, trying to get around Caden Honeycutt for that 8th position, and that's great news. That means he'll pick up some stage points here as long as he stays in position.
That gets around Matt Mills. That's that free pass position that just took Raja Caruth out of.
There's Jack Wood. Jack's the next truck. Caution is out. Caution.
Caution is out for the 0-2 Dylan Lupton.
Hard
Big
contact.
impact.
Boy, just came 1 lap too late for Raja, didn't it?
He was running 29th at the time, making his first truck start of the year. This comes out with 2 laps to go in stage number 2.
It'll end the stage. Matt Mills looks like will be the free pass truck.
So Ankrum and Enfinger, both who were denied stage points. Stage number 1, both pick up a couple of points. In stage number 2. Wow, that had to have been a big impact. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, all by himself, too. Generally, when you see someone spin up into the wall, they were trying to protect a position, cut a guy off. I don't know if maybe the brakes in the back locked up. A lot of times you'll get Will hop into these corners. But there's the man tonight. He knew he was going to be. We interviewed him earlier today. Very confident in this 19 Gates Hydraulics truck.
Landon Lewis made his way to the garage. Tough break for him. It was a great opportunity to get behind the wheel.
He joins Norm Benning as the only 2 trucks off the track.
Ron Hornaday, driver coaches him, spends a lot of time with him, saw him at the track earlier today. One driver I was keeping my eye on is Taylor Gray in the 17. He was working his way forward with a couple laps remaining. I wondered if he could get himself inside the top 10, but it'll end with him being on the outside in 12th.
Yeah, and we know that our top 5 is going to come to pit road along with Caden Honeycutt, who has not pitted yet. Just remains to be seen whether Stuart Freeze and Ben Rhodes, who pitted on lap 38, and among others, if they stay out and get that track position.
Christian Eckes picks up his 11th stage win in 2024. 1 stage remaining. So far, the night has belonged to Christian Eckes, winning both Stage 1 and Stage 2. 20 bonus points. It's all about the points when it comes to the playoffs.
Jamie, I'm going to go out on a limb. He's not going to lead all the laps tonight.
No way.
Because he's got to come to pit road.
He's not even going to lead the next one.
I don't disagree with that.
Front runners coming to you, Regan.
Well, you see Ty Majeski hitting the very first pit stall as he comes onto pit road. Right now, the front of the truck is tight. The back of the truck gets freer, though, and especially as the track gets rubber in, they're struggling with the rubber on the racetrack, so an adjustment for him. Amanda?
I just saw Christian Eckes make a clean entry into his pit box. He told the team, don't change a thing. Just give me 4 fresh tires and some fuel so I can keep going. He's been relatively quiet here tonight, guys. It's really been impressive to see. Regan?
Borgheim and 11 doing exactly what they need to do tonight right now. As for the truck, it's been getting better for him, especially the middle of that most recent run. He was working the brake fans as the driver in the truck to adjust the truck. Said he was able to get it pretty good with that.
Thanks, Regan. Christian Eckes pitted on lap 104 in the spring. What happened? He won the race. Tonight, he pits on lap 105. Will it be good enough to get the job done?
Well, so much can happen between now and the end of the race. Obviously, he's going to have so many trucks he's going to be in such heavy traffic, and we haven't seen near the carnage that we typically do here at Martinsville.
Third and final stage of elimination nights coming up next.
Enfinger's going to get a big push.
White flag in the air, Grant Enfinger.
A must-win situation, and Grant Enfinger has done exactly that at Martinsville. Enfinger across the line, and he has picked up the win.
3 wide to the bottom. Can't find the rim. Yes, he does. They are 3 wide for the lead.
White flag is in the air. Todd Gilliland gets turned just at the start-finish line.
Well, Zane Smith had to win to get in. It's official. It's over.
Such exciting moments from right here at Martinsville Speedway. Makes you wonder, will we have a walk-off win to punch their ticket to the Championship 4 in a week from now? Well, we know it's not going to be Raja Karut. Regan reported on those brake issues. They are working on it. He left the window net up so he could get back out on track. But you know, his chances to go for the championship are over. But I'll tell you, on the flip side, the 18, Tyler Ankrum, that truck has come to life, Regan.
Jamie, it has, and I had to check with Mark Hillman just to make sure I didn't miss something as that truck has worked its way forward. A little bit of strategy with that pit stop earlier on during stage 1. They were able to make up some of those positions, and on this most recent pit stop, a very good stop, leapfrogged him some more. He said the main thing they've adjusted is wedge. What that does, that frees the truck up. He said it wasn't a big adjustment, just enough to get what they needed, but the further forward they get, the better that truck gets. Keep an eye, this is the best track position he has had all night right now.
You know, we've talked about the differing strategies, and we saw earlier that our playoff contenders had pitted at 3 different times. Well, some hadn't pitted yet. Well, now everyone's been to pit road, and Ben Rhodes, that 99 truck, is the only one that is doing differing strategy from everybody else in the field. Christian Eckes came in as a leader, comes out second.
Ben Rhodes was counting on some guys behind him staying out, giving him a little bit of a cushion. He didn't get that. Be interesting to see how these old tires hold up here.
Unbelievable job for the 19 team getting their driver out there. Meanwhile, Ben Rhodes restarts on the front row for the first time. Nice restart for him.
See 3 wide mid-pack.
We're going to have that.
There's a battle of Nick Sanchez on the inside of Ty Majeski. That's for third.
I like what you pointed out earlier, Phil. You can get some good ground up on that high side of this racetrack. Generally, if you get caught up there, you're going to go backwards, but we're not seeing that today.
Michael, you look at that pylon. Oh my goodness, 3 wide. Connor Zilic, the meat in that sandwich. That's a battle back there from 12th back to 17th.
These drivers know that we're in the final stage, and you're not coming to pit road unless you have an issue. So every spot counts.
And we also know we've said it's been a pretty calm race so far. That's only going to get more and more heated as we go toward the checker.
You see those playoff cutoff points as they run right now. Grant Enfinger, obviously, he's in. Nothing has really changed with Eckes, Heim, and Majeski. Battle for the lead here. Christian Eckes says, excuse me, Ben Rhodes. This has been my race. I've dominated. I want to take over.
What about Ben Rhodes, though? He's been able to gap everybody but Eckes. So if Eckes makes short work of him, maybe Ben holds on to that second spot.
Ben Rhodes, last year's champion, was eliminated after the round of 10. Oh, he gets a little push. Christian Eckes. Side by side.
Nick Sanchez likes what he's seeing. Those 2 trucks battling side by side. He's going to be able to gain on them.
Big Ben's going to tuck right in behind, get back down to the bottom of the racetrack in the corners here. Remember, almost 80 laps on his tires on that 99 truck.
Unbelievable job for Christian Eckes in this 19 team.
Same thing for Nick Sanchez. Right there, second best most of the night to Eckes, along with Majeski. But I'm telling you, Phil, Nick Sanchez wishes that Christian wasn't so happy with that truck. He just needed him to be a little bit less thrilled with what he had, because what a performance, as you said, Jamie, by this 19 team.
Well, you saw the points at this level, at this rate. Nick Sanchez is in a must-win. He's got to get around those 2 trucks ahead of him if he wants any chance at Phoenix.
Yeah, Majeski came in above the cut line, the most precarious, only 22 points above the cut line, but 2 second-place finishes in the stage, 18 points gained already in the
look at this
with the stages.
Short track laps led. Christian Eckes combined, he's led more laps than Majeski, Enfinger, and Heim.
Guys, in 6 races coming into this race, he has outscored his closest competitor by 80 points on short tracks. That's almost 2 full races on short tracks. He has outscored them in points.
Just consistency. We've never seen anything like this. He has 20 top 10 finishes in 21 races, 3 wins, and sure, Corey Heim has 6 wins, but his consistency has not touched what Eckes has been able to do.
Again, his average finish ranks up in the top 10 all time in the series, going back till 1995.
What about the veteran Johnny Sauter and the kid Connor Zilic mixing it up there as you see Nick Sanchez pull to the inside of in rows, and he's going to make quick work of this position. I think Majeski will follow right along. Those have been the best 3 trucks all night long, and they're going to surface in the top 3.
Amanda said, she talked to Sanchez, he said, this is the easiest scenario for us. We have to go out and win. There's nothing else about it. Can't count points. We're not looking at that. And right now he's got his sights set on one more truck, and that's the 19 of Eckes. If there's any slip up with Eckes and Sanchez can capitalize, he would immediately race next Friday for a championship.
And that would move that precarious position of Majeski from above the cut line to below the cut line if Sanchez could get to victory lane.
This pylon, I mean, the cream just rises to the top, right? You see the yellow. Those are all playoff drivers. You see Grant Enfinger in the green. He's punched his ticket. He's highlighted in green. Sawalich, though, and Freeze and Ben Rhodes, the only 3 non-playoff drivers in the top 10.
Working that gas, making that move. You see Tim Duggar riding along, liking what he's seeing so far.
So Christian Eckes back out front doing what we expect. Led 113 laps tonight and counting. We're going to step aside. You won't miss a thing. Sunday, we've got a huge NFL doubleheader on Fox. First, Dak and the Cowboys take on the Falcons or other regional action. Then it's America's Game of the Week as Jared Goff leads the Lions against Jordan Love and the Packers, or it's Rams Seahawks. Check local listings for the game in your area. That's Sunday on Fox. And
How about those Lions?
I should have said Phil Parsons.
That's right.
Lions.
Go Lions.
Maybe one day the Colts will be good enough to be in a promo. You know what I'm saying? We benched our young quarterback this week, Anthony Richardson, but Joe Flacco will get the job done.
It was a lot of years, Jamie, that I went through those struggles. A lot of years.
I hear you.
And you can tell by the celebrations you have these days. And I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Loyal fan. I love watching the NFL on Fox. See 19 Eckes working his way through some lap traffic, putting a lap on Timmy Hill there, put Spencer Boyd down another lap.
He's trying to get this race over quick so he can get home and get ready for NFL on Fox.
He's had to work his way around a lot of lap traffic tonight. 2.8 second lead over Nick Sanchez. There's second place.
Yeah, when that gap closes up a little bit because of all the traffic, you have to remember then Sanchez is going to have to go through that same traffic.
Let's listen to hear what Sanchez is saying.
I'm sure you're aware, but if we win the 98 South, that's why it's going to be difficult, you know? Oh, yeah, no, I got it. Step forward.
Heard him giving
Yeah, I
up
think
the
that's
scenario.
exactly what.
Go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, Jamie, I was just going to add on that. You have to think that's exactly what Nick Sanchez is thinking. His spotter actually even told him, hey, stop looking at that mirror, settle down and look forward. His team's trying to give him information of where he can catch up to Christian Eckes. Tell him where he's better on track than what the 19 is doing. They're efforting in 3 and 4 for Nick Sanchez to get around this traffic and kind of chase down Christian Eckes, Jamie.
Thanks, Amanda. Yeah, great communication there, and you hear him say the deal is we're in, the 98 is out, doing all they can. They still are 3 seconds back to the leader. Battle for 7th. Taylor Gray talked about him just missing those points that he needs oh so bad, but Tyler Ankrum in the 18 truck just come to life. Just so bad in practice. Something going on, figured out it was the brakes, started in the rear, and they've really done a nice job.
And then Grant Enfinger so bad in qualifying, and it turns out it was a flat tire, and he's done the same thing, rallied all night long.
You can see that one truck right behind Grant. So Wallach, nice strong run for that young man. Just turned 18 a month or 2 ago. See, Taylor Gray's moved up the racetrack intentionally. Looks like he's making some pretty good ground up there.
I love that. Maybe that's partially why I feel we haven't seen a bunch of carnage. People have options when they get down to the corner. They don't all have to fight for that curb down on the bottom.
And we don't typically see that here at this racetrack.
It's fun to watch.
It is.
He's driving away a bit.
It's been an impressive year for Taylor Gray, the 19-year-old. Jeff Hensley comes on board, and those two just hit it off. Started the first race at Daytona on his lid, but they have just figured things out. Great consistency. He's learned so much in his first full season. And now just like that, he got the call to move up to the Xfinity Series next year.
Yeah, great opportunity for him with Joe Gibbs Racing. Had some really solid runs running a limited schedule for Joe Gibbs this year.
William Sawalich doing another nice job keeping it inside the top 10 in that one truck.
Saw just ahead there, Stuart Friesen talked about that 6th place run at Miami. And here he is again up there, 6th place, having a great run.
All over the back of that 11 of Corey Heim.
Corey's been pretty much mortal the last couple of weeks. It's been surprising to see, as good as he's been all year long. Does that make you scratch your head as you're heading to Phoenix to race for a championship?
I mean, maybe a little bit. I think if you're Scott Zipadelli and Corey Heim.
We heard at the start of this race, just a few laps in, how terrible Heim thought that truck was.
Great battle.
Oh,
Taylor
look at
Gray,
this.
Tyler Ankrum. Will they make it 3 wide? Yes, they do.
Who gives?
That's for 7th.
Thankfully, it was Carroll on the outside.
Yeah, just heads up driving, and certainly by the spotters as well, to let them know that they were 3 wide. You saw Tyler Ankrum give Taylor Gray plenty of room in the middle of that 3-way battle.
Oh, man, Gray's tough up on that outside.
Yeah.
Ankrum saying, come on, man.
He would love to just put him away and go on and try to chase down Stuart Friesen.
And he's going to get it done.
Tyler Ankrum, you look at his season, he comes over to McAnally Hilgeman Racing. They embraced him, he embraced them. Mark Hillman.
Stuart Friesen.
Tyler just hit it off. It's been fun to watch this year. And Friesen on the move.
Been a bit of a struggle this year for Stewie. It's good to see him have this type of speed. You talk about him winning on dirt. Every time I look at Instagram, he's holding a trophy somewhere up in the Northeast.
He'd like to hold one of these clocks. I don't know if he can hold that clock, but at least stand next to it.
And he had a great run last week. Friesen getting a 6th place finish at Homestead. Well, the night has belonged to the 19 of Christian Eckes. Can he hang on to it? 50 laps to go from Martinsville. welcome back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Jamie Little, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip, and Regan Smith and Amanda Busick on pit road. Glad you're joining us under the lights on this Friday night from Martinsville. Christian Eckes has been so dominant. He's led 146 laps so far tonight, and he just hit 1,000 laps led this season. That is the first driver to do it since Kyle Busch in 2010.
Wow.
Been
14
impressive.
years.
Big track, little track, he don't care. He just runs up front. As you see, Corey Heim continues just to fall back. Lane Riggs is going to get in on the bottom here and take the spot away from Heim.
It is really surprising. You think Corey Heim, he got the win here last year, but you know, in the spring, he only finished 10th, so they didn't really have a full handle on it then either. See, he's fallen back to 11th.
Well, Jamie, as you see Corey Heim right there, you're mentioning about the spring, the struggles that they had. They actually went back to their 2023 setup with that 11 truck. Of course, that a race that he won that particular season. Evidently not quite correlating the way that they want tonight. Still struggling with the same issues with the rear of the truck that they had been earlier on.
That's surprising to say the least. Regan falling outside of the top 10.
Yeah, they don't struggle very much. Hardly anywhere in the series. You can take a look at our leaderboard there on the pylon. Nothing really has changed as Stuart Friesen's going to try to grab that 4th spot from Ben Rhodes.
They're going to come up on Jake Garcia. As you see the 18 there of Ankrum, he's continuing to march forward as well.
These trucks are so beautiful under the lights, and we don't get to see a whole lot of night races anymore. And we didn't see them for years and years and years at Martinsville, so it's special to get to do this. It's a big night. It's a playoff elimination night, and the caution is out for Caden Honeycutt.
Well, that could change things. You see some contact with the outside wall for the 45 truck, Caden Honeycutt.
He stopped just between turns 1 and 2. Now he's rolling again. He was 13th at that time.
Like it went in maybe nose first, Phil. I don't know. Is the right front down?
Right front's down now. We don't know whether it went down and caused this or.
Has the looks of that's what happened.
It does, exactly. Good bit of damage to that Nice truck.
That's the 4th caution of the night. Of course, 2 were for stage breaks.
Well, that's going to change things here. That's going to give Sanchez an opportunity here on a restart.
Yeah, I've been watching the lap times, and Sanchez is equaled or runs just a little bit quicker than Eckes. A lot of these laps, it's hard to follow along to see who's in traffic and who isn't, but I've seen a couple of clean laps, and it looks like Sanchez is equaled out. And, you know, we've talked about pushing and shoving. Just, I don't care what you've seen the first 163 laps. It's getting ready to look a lot different. This restart will be very, very aggressive. Christian Eckes has had the truck to drive away from the field, but if he can do that, behind him, it's going to be chaos.
Desperate times right now for the 2 of Nick Sanchez.
See, Daniel Dye came to pit road. I don't think pit road was open yet, so he will have to restart from the tail end. Obviously,
have an issue, yeah.
Had an issue they're looking at.
Daniel had fallen off the lead lap.
You see a couple Elmore engine officials there, so obviously he felt like something was going wrong, whether it was a plug wire or something going wrong with the engine. That's why the Elmore folks are under the hood there. We'll see if anyone takes this opportunity to come to pit road here. I'm telling you, if I'm outside the top 10, I might take a chance here. There's not many laps to go. Maybe take a chance and try to get some new tires and make something happen, even though this pace has been pretty quick this entire race.
What about Corey Heim? He's running 11th. We've documented his struggles.
Why not?
Time for, we've talked about Hail Marys. I would almost call coming to pit road right now a bit of a Hail Mary. Take a chance that others don't.
Yeah, only 17 trucks on the lead lap. We've had as many as 27 on the lead lap this
He's only
spring.
lose 6 spots. I believe I'd come if I was this 11 team.
Well, all eyes turn to Big Noon Saturday as 4th-ranked Ohio State squares off against 3rd-ranked Penn State in one of the biggest games of the year. It all starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with Big Noon kickoff that's live from Happy Valley, followed by Ohio State, Penn State. That's at noon. It's all on Fox, and that is a big game. Not a fan of Ohio State are you?
I made that aware. People aware of that during a practice show.
There went Taylor Gray, man. He barely made it in.
Corey Heim, you said outside the top 10.
Here he comes. This is good stuff. Talk about aggressive racing with those new tires. We're going to see it.
We're going to use those bumpers, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
But I like this call. Again, only 17 trucks on the lead lap. We're used to way more than that. There's been very few cautions this race for what we normally see.
Amanda.
As you see Grant Enfinger pulling into his pit box, he's been talking about the importance of tires here tonight. Before the prior stop that Grant had, there was a conversation with the team, do I take 2 tires, do I take 4 tires? Grant said no, tires will make or break it here tonight. So maybe that's part of the strategy play of getting the guy that's been back-to-back wins here in the playoff back on track.
Yeah, and these guys, so many people came to pit road, so the guy that won the race off of pit road, of the trucks that pitted, he's going to have pretty good track position.
Saw Taylor Gray come down pit road. Watch how this shuffles out.
I don't think this will affect Christian Eckes at all unless there's multiple cautions and people get knocked out of the way and those fresh tires just keep creeping toward the front. I guarantee you Christian's concerned about where's the first guy on tires going to restart. That's
Exactly.
the question I would ask if I was behind the wheel. See if we can tell what happened to Caden Honeycutt. You can see some sparks, and he's down on the bottom, up into the wall.
Yeah.
He lost a right front tire like we speculated.
Yeah, I'm exactly right. Tough break for Caden Honeycutt. He's running just outside the top 10.
I don't believe he can get going again.
No, he's already 5 laps down. I'm sure they're just waiting for pit road to clear so they can push that truck behind pit wall.
Just remember this name, Caden Honeycutt. He will go to victory lane next year. He's a talented young racer getting a great opportunity.
Regan, let's hear from a crew chief. What's Joe Shear thinking?
Well, Jamie, maybe not the caution that you guys necessarily wanted to see. It seemed like everything's going just like you wanted tonight. Truck's very good. Joe, sure, you didn't know how to play the race out earlier. Looks like it's going well.
Yeah, it's going with, what we need to do here, but I wish it was a little bit better. The 19's pretty stout. We just got to make sure the 2 don't win.
How do you do that?
That's a good question. That's up to those guys.
Good luck.
Joe said, I gave him the truck he needed to make sure that doesn't happen. Now go make sure it doesn't happen. Joe's done everything he can now.
Amanda.
Well, Kevin, Joe Shear just said we have to make sure that the 2 does not win. I heard you guys flirting with the idea of making a pit stop there. You decided to stay out. How can you guys get to Christian?
Christian's really good, but we still feel we get the front row here. Christian could spin his tires. We could get the lead. As the run went on, we're really good on the long run. So we felt if we can get the jump on the restart here and get out front, we, that's our best shot to win, we figure.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Ooh, tense times here on the front row. We're going to choose it up.
Yeah, we know he's going to take the front row, and I think he has to. This situation, again, you never know what could happen. It could spin it, especially old, hotter tires. A lot easier to spin those tires on this restart.
Christian takes the bottom as we expected, and we've also documented how strong that outside lane is. See, jumping up a row is Tyler Ankrum. Stewart chose the bottom.
This will be the first time this evening that Nick Sanchez has restarted on the front row.
Only 8 trucks stayed on the racetrack.
Phil, have we seen our last caution of the evening?
I can't imagine we have.
I can't either. We've seen these races before.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of them, actually.
Remember, in the spring, our average green flag run was less than 10 laps.
Just 30 laps to go. So Ben Rhodes, the first driver on fresh tires, back in the 9th position.
Here on the loosen them engines, warming those tires up, getting ready to go.
Christian Eckes, the winner of stage 1 and stage 2. Control truck right now, but Nick Sanchez wants to change it. He's got to win if he gives himself a shot next week. Ty Majeski on the bottom.
You know his marching orders was don't let the 2 win. So he's going to hang right there on the bottom. Can he stay there? Moves him up a bit on entry.
Can't quite clear him.
That's exactly what Christian Eckes wants to look in that mirror and see.
Look at Stuart Friesen to the bumper of the 98.
That's going to help Sanchez.
It turned him sideways a little bit. That allowed Sanchez to squirt out in front of him.
There you see those tires on Ben Rhodes. Can he get 2 for 1 in this corner? He hops the curb.
Tyler Ankrum had a little contact, washed up the racetrack, lost a couple spots in the 18.
How about 3 wide getting down in the corner?
Can you go all the way around the corner here 3 wide? Holy cow, what racing.
Oh, did you see? Chase Purdy was turned completely sideways.
Got it headed in the right direction, and look at that.
Corey Day, 3 wide all the way back.
Haley Curry hopped the curb and got a spot.
Chase Purdy says, I'm getting out of here. Excuse me, coming through.
This is synchronized driving right now. They're all over each other, but making it happen. Watch this contact, and the truck nearly goes spinning.
Right beside that was Corey Day, I think, that just turned left. He might have got a little bit of a push from Connor Zilic.
He got hit from behind, and it turned him directly in. Oh,
no, he didn't get a push from behind.
He misjudged it.
He misjudged it. He was trying to get him behind Chase Purdy and misjudged it.
Corey Heim came down and got fresh tires there. He's up to 9th. Regan.
Well, Jamie, that's right. We saw him on pit road that last caution. Not necessarily what they wanted to do, but they had to play defense a little bit. They thought if they didn't pit that all these trucks with fresh tires would be coming up through the pack. If there was too many of them that pitted, they said we have to pit so that we can play offense instead of defense. That's how it worked out for them.
Regan, I want to give you a report on Christian Eckes. Last time by, he was 3/10 quicker than the 2nd place truck. So he's moseying on his way. You see Ty Majeski still battling tightly with Sanchez. I believe he's better right now than Nick. The fastest truck on the track was Taylor Gray with those fresher tires.
All this action, it's unbelievable to think we've only had 2 different leaders. Christian Eckes and Ben Rhodes. Let's get an update on Taylor Gray, Amanda.
I think Taylor Gray thinks he might be the best truck on this track as well right now. His crew chief was telling him, keep digging, be smooth. We can get these guys. Michael, you were talking, he's running some of the fastest lap times around this place right now. It was a last-minute decision for them to dip into pit road and take 4 tires and get Taylor Gray back there for an opportunity. It is to win it to play in Phoenix.
It was a really solid late decision, Amanda. He is the only truck in the same area code of Christian Eckes.
We've now reached our Craftsman 20 to go.
Yeah, Taylor Gray, I think, is going to need a caution flag. He needs to get a caution, get closed up.
Look at him
trying to move Nick Sanchez out of the way. He's going to be able to get by Sanchez, I think. He's still showing about 3 seconds behind. Oh, and there's that caution flag.
Brett Moffitt, a lot of damage to the left rear in the 81 at Corey Day.
Tanner Gray was involved as well.
That's the break that Taylor Gray needed.
I'm telling you, Phil, Taylor Gray is desperate. He needs that win. We talked about it. Throwing that Hail Mary.
If Sanchez will take the outside on the restart, then that will put Taylor Gray potentially put Taylor Gray right behind our leader Eckes, Michael.
Brett's having trouble getting fired back off. There he goes. Big damage to the left rear of that number 4 truck.
Another restart opportunity, but Eckes has just been untouchable on the restarts.
There's
Nobody's
the damage.
been able to jump him.
Damage to the 15 of Tanner Gray.
Check out right here. That's Dean Thompson, the 5 truck behind the 15 of Tanner Gray.
Whoa.
That's just a situation where he's just going to dump him. Probably mad about the block. Looked like Tanner Gray was down the racetrack some, and Johnny Sauter was an innocent victim of that.
A lot of damage.
Well, don't ever like to say I told you so, but that's push comes to shove, and
a lot of shoving.
That's a lot of shoving.
Remember Brett Moffitt in that Ford truck driving for Hedinger Racing, brand new team. They just acquired all of this equipment and those trucks from Brett Holmes Racing. Now they've got a wrecked truck to fix before we go racing next season.
Look, Taylor Gray in that 17 in the 3rd position, the only truck in the same class as Eckes. And I think Christian still in control. What's Ty Majeski thinking with the 98?
Oh boy, this ain't good. No, this isn't good right here. But we ain't gonna do where we're at. We're not gonna be able to defend nothing.
And what's not good is the Taylor Gray truck is going to be right on the bumper of Christian Eckes, and probably we'll be using that bumper. And why it isn't good is because if Taylor Gray makes his way in, it could knock Majeski out.
And Michael, something else to think about also with the 98 of Ty Majeski, he has a teammate on fresh tires behind him, the 99 of Ben Rhodes. He just said on the radio, my best bet might be to let Ben go up there and battle it out with those guys to keep Taylor Gray from getting the win potentially.
Oh, there's so many moving parts and pieces, Regan. This playoff racing and stage racing and just the drama that it all comes down to here at Martinsville.
Well, Jeff, there's a lot of drivers that are discussing your driver right now. Ty Majeski just saying on air, man, this is not good right now. It was a late dive for Taylor into pit road. What spawned that decision?
Hey, I mean, actually it was a pretty easy call because we weren't going to win it like we were. And the 98s had a really good night tonight, point-wise, and this is our only call. I mean, you know, we got to get up there. I just think it go rest of the way green. We got a shot. The 19 is still really good, but we're on about 40-lap pressure tires here, so we'll see what happens. Get us a good restart here. I think we can get out front. The adjustments we've made all night is made our truck better. My strategy ain't been worth 2 cents. We had a grand plan when this thing started, and obviously we've changed it about 4 times. So I guess that's the definition of a good plan. It's change it when you have to, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think we're in good shape.
Thank you, Jeff.
I think it's been pretty good.
Well, you have to adjust,
adapt, and he's been able to do that and do it well because he's in a position right now with Taylor Gray to maybe make something happen.
You know, you have to have a plan so you know what you're varying from, and that's what they've done is varied from their plan, and that's been. I'm just hoping this doesn't get ugly. You know, I hope they don't just start running over each other because there's so much on the line to go to Phoenix and race for a championship. How does this go down?
And Jeff was talking about having fresher tires. He pitted 60 laps after Eckes, but he's talking about green flag laps. Those are the only laps that really matter on the tires. It's going to be fun to watch here.
Let's listen to the 98 again.
Yeah, tell Ben when we get strung out, or like tell him to race me. Don't yield to me. You know, I need Ben to get up there. So just tell him that. Yeah, copy.
He's pulling for Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Ben was one of those trucks that came down pit road when Taylor Gray did. How about Sanchez?
Takes the bottom.
Takes the bottom and gives the front row to Taylor Gray.
Well, we didn't
see that coming.
Well, one thing you got to think about, Phil, is how fast 19 has been all night long. He just takes off from the restart and he's gone. Maybe Sanchez thought, I'm just going to follow him, and that'll get me the best chance to get up there and race for this win. If I get on the outside, you put the 17, who he knows has better tires, on the bottom, he might lose second as well. So this could be a strategy just to count on the speed that Eckes has had all night long and follow along.
So Ty Majeski we were listening to in the 98 truck outside row number 2. He's talking about his teammate right there, Ben Rhodes, on the inside right behind him. Here we go again. Christian Eckes, Taylor Gray. What can Nick Sanchez do on the inside of row number 2? Ben Rhodes takes a peek.
We saw Taylor Gray work that outside groove a lot earlier in this race. He's got that second spot.
Sanchez slips back to 3rd. It didn't pay off for him. This is it.
And look who's right there hanging with Eckes. Taylor Gray's on the bumper, gives him a little bit of a nudge.
11 laps to go.
Caution.
Caution is out again. Turn 2. Johnny Sauter.
Stuart Friesen had some piece or part of that.
See some damage to the left rear of that, right in front of the tire on the left side.
These were trucks that were running in various positions, so it must have been a bit of a chain reaction.
Was the 9 maybe Grant Enfinger part of this?
See if we can break this down. The 9 gets hit by the 77. He knocks into the 52 of Friesen, and then, like we said, somehow back there, Johnny Sauter gets involved.
Heads up driving by Connor Zillage and Dean Thompson there. We're under caution for the 6th time with 10 laps to go from Martinsville. As it stands right now, these are the championship 4 contenders. And I say as it stands now because I think things are about to get dicey here. There'll be 6 laps to go at the line. Taylor Gray was so aggressive all over Christian Eckes when that caution came out. What does he do here?
He's better than Eckes, and I think Phil and I have decided what he's going to do. He's going to move him. We just hope he moves him gracefully and doesn't just spin him out. But you see, he takes the outside. I like that decision, Phil. You can't give up a spot to Sanchez, but those front row trucks are just faster than the rest, and it looked like I said, on that short run before that caution, that Gray is better than Eckes right now because of those 45, 50 lap pressure tires.
Yeah, as long as he can get in second. The lead, yeah, great, fine. That's going to be fine, you know, good. But if he can get in second, if he can get in front of Sanchez, then that's the key.
Remember what we said about Majeski, saying, let's get Ben, you know, make sure he gets up there and has a shot at it because he has on those fresh tires too. Look at Ben outside of row 2.
Right behind that 17 of Taylor Gray.
And we have to note the 19 in Christian Eckes is not locked in. If something happens here and he gets knocked around, there is a chance he could miss it.
I've been trying to lock him in all night, Jamie. It's just mathematically he doesn't work yet, but it's close. As long as he doesn't get spun out.
Here we go, 5 laps to go. Christian Eckes, Taylor Gray on the front row. How aggressive does Taylor get?
Did he get too aggressive? See, he got the...
He gets the jump.
Got that jump. Did he jump too soon? We'll have to see what NASCAR says. Oh, there's contact between our leaders.
Now will Eckes move the 17? Yes, he will.
He
move
moves
the 17.
Taylor Gray up the track. Christian Eckes takes over the lead. Here comes Ben Rhodes in second.
On those tires.
How aggressive does Ben Rhodes get to help out his teammate?
Well,
he just saw the 19 move the 17. There's no doubt he was going to use that bumper.
And if he gets in front of him, it looks like the 19 will use his bumper again.
Ben Rhodes got the message. We need you to be a team player right now. Christian Eckes second.
Looked like Ben got a nice run off that corner, but it's not going to be enough. There's the bumper. And way up the hill he goes.
Who's going to be in second on the last corner? That may be the key to who wins this race.
Look at this battle for the lead. They both wash up the racetrack.
And Chase Purdy, where'd he come from?
I guarantee you the spotters are saying, Phil, he's using his bumper. Go use yours. But I don't know if Chase has enough to get there.
Taylor Gray, Nick Sanchez side by side. They're both in must-win situations. That's a battle for 4th and 5th. Coming out of turn 4. White flag is in the air. Christian Eckes leads it. 1 lap to go. Taylor Gray had his shot.
And he got a shot in the back that knocked him out of the way.
Christian Eckes wasn't afraid to be aggressive right back. It has been his night. He has absolutely dominated. Has led 187 laps, and he gets it done. Christian Eckes wins at Martinsville and punches his first ticket to the championship 4. Charles Denike and that team, what a season. And there's the bumper right there. Taylor Gray not happy with the contact.
Probably some angry people there, but I was not going to let this lose its race. Awesome truck, guys. Great job.
Just remember, you got to go to Phoenix now.
Yeah, these drivers have long memories.
Not losing this race obviously was very important, but winning the next one would be.
There was a lot of contact, but nothing egregious like we talked about. Just do it.
I would call it a little bit over the line.
For Taylor Gray and
I
Christian
think,
Eckes.
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
It just multiplied, you know. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. Next time I'm gonna hit you harder.
You see Taylor Gray, very much clean pass on the outside, and here comes the contact.
Nothing Taylor could do at that point.
And look at Ben Rhodes. He gets knocked out of the way too.
Eckes essentially did the same thing to Ben Rhodes that he did to Taylor Gray.
And then he slides up and takes the win. I mean, and that's the way they race these days.
Yeah, it is.
And nobody got spun around. I like Jamie said.
And that's what I meant.
Was
yes.
it over aggressive? Maybe, but is it what you expect? Certainly.
That's the new norm, like we've talked about.
You and I just aren't quite used to it yet.
No, I know it. It's hard to get used to.
And there's always mixed emotions. You hear the fans celebrating and the others booing. Nothing but love. You got the checkered flag. Regan Smith, he's all yours.
Well, Christian Eckes, the dominant truck all night long, but at the end of the race, the way the cautions play out, fresh tires coming at the end, had to use a little bit of elbow grease there to get it done, but you're going to race for a championship in Phoenix. How does that feel?
It feels great. You know, like I told everybody, I wasn't going to let us lose this race. The truck was too good. The 17 was just hard racing. I feel bad about the 99. I just got way too loose entering the corner, but everybody's really happy with me. But I don't really care. I'm proud of everybody for working hard, and yeah, we'll go on to Phoenix.
Congratulations. Christian Eckes wins at Martinsville.
Taylor Gray has climbed out of his truck. He is running away from us. Taylor, I'm going to walk with you here. What's going through your mind right now? That was the push away from the microphone. His team told him, calm down. We will get them next weekend when it'll hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. You talk about him, Michael. You know, yeah, he didn't want to lose this race. He had the best truck. He dominated the race. But, again, these drivers have memories. And now I think he's probably got the 17 of Taylor Gray and maybe the 99 of Ben Rhodes, both upset at him a little bit?
Yeah, I would guess so. And
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Yep.
Well, NASCAR security is to his left right there. He's got his team. He's got something to say about that finish. Taylor Gray on the outside,
NASCAR
28 points behind.
NASCAR security is walking with him, hoping he walks it off before they have to intervene.
You hear him say, calm down. There's Bob Pockrass.
I don't think it's working. I don't think he feels any differently now than he did when he got out of the truck.
We knew emotions would run high tonight. So much, your whole season's on the line.
Well, and you got to think also,
And the fans see it. They see it on the Jumbotron.
as Phil said, as this march continues, as Phil said, a second place finish from Eckes would have got him to Phoenix to race for a championship and not made enemies.
The team trying to protect their driver.
Don't fucking shit something in the fucking fence. You race him like I fucking did you. I fucking barely got you off the auto with tires. You know how many chances I had to shit you the fucking fence? Okay, I'll remember that next year.
We apologize for that language. That's NASCAR. It's all access. The microphones are on. The emotions are running high. He just lost a shot at running for a championship.
He wanted to express his opinion, and I also would like to say thank you to NASCAR security for letting him go vent and confront Eckes and not just shoving him in a different direction. Taylor Gray was obviously very upset, but he just wanted to make his point. And you know what his point was, what you and I said.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
And Christian's crewman tried to stop him, but the NASCAR security guy said, no, he wants to talk. And that's essentially what he did, so.
A lot of different emotions, I think, going through the head of Christian Eckes right now, winning the race, the fans booing him, having to listen to Taylor tell him that he would get him next week.
And now that's got to weigh on his mind. He's going for a championship,
Like I
and you got a
said,
driver that's so angry at you and could very well end it for you.
a second place finish would have got him to Phoenix, probably the favorite as the championship. But Amanda, you're with a very upset and
Taylor,
disappointed.
I know, Taylor, you had an exchange of words there. You are walking back from that conflict right now. Are you happy with the exchange?
With the exchange, no. I got shipped to the fence whenever I raced. I'm perfectly clean in 1 and 2. What comes around goes around. I have to race him next year all year long. So I guess he's got that one for him.
What'd you say in that huddle?
It doesn't matter.
Taylor, we are 1 week away from Phoenix. What are we going to see out of you?
Clean racing.
We heard Taylor say we're going to have to race against each other all next year. They're both moving up to the Xfinity Series. And it all comes down to this, the Championship 4 at Phoenix. That's next Friday. Qualifying 4 Eastern. Championship race at 8 Eastern right here on FS1. Grant Enfinger, we knew he was in. 19, Christian Eckes, Corey Heim, and Ty Majeski. Coming up next, San Diego State and Boise State. Stay with us.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.